Good morning, everybody. This is Richard back at you. We got Miss Teresa on the camera, number one as always, and we got, you know it, number one, Annie, always hanging out with us, huh? Being shy this morning, though. We finally had a winter blast come through here, guys, and let me tell you, when it comes to Amarillo, it just drops the temperatures for the first time, and then we never recover all winter long, so it's just terrible all winter long pretty much, and winter just seems so long compared to summer, huh, Teresa?
Yeah, but I'm ready for some change. I just don't like the wind.
Yeah, definitely. We have a warm shop here too. That's one thing good about it. Our clean burn heater works really, really well.
Yeah, but when the wind blows, I just don't like coming out here. You
I
still
hear
got to
you.
walk out there in that wind.
That 30-foot gap just gets to you, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Well, hey guys, a lot of people have been asking about our two channels, our Precision Transmissions channel and our Richard and Teresa Educational channel. What we've done, we've tried to let everybody know over here at our Precision page to come over to our new page, but a lot of people ain't finding it. I mean, hundreds and thousands of people are not physically finding it, even though we tell everybody to come over here. So that's why we're posting on both channels. Post on Precision, that way everybody there can find it. We post on Richard and Teresa educational videos, that way that everybody there that already is a member or what's that word? Subscriber to that channel.
Right, because the people on the Richard and Teresa, they're new.
Yeah.
A lot of them are from the old channel,
yeah.
But there's a lot of them that are new.
Yeah, and they don't know about the Precision.
Right.
And then the people on Precision don't know about the Richard and Teresa educational. So that's why we're posting on both places. We just have to do that, because if we don't, a lot of people are going to miss out on what we do here.
Right.
Definitely. I mean, by the hundreds, seriously.
Exactly.
So, but and you ask why we don't do build videos. I've talked to multiple people that I do jobs here for, and they want me to concentrate on their unit. They don't care about a video of building it. They want me to concentrate on it. And believe it or not, I want to do the same thing. I don't really care about a build video. I would rather concentrate on our customer's transmission that I am assembling and get it done to just the best that I can do without any interruptions. When I'm building trannies, Teresa don't even come out here and bother me.
Nope.
I'm by myself. I take my time. I do it. I put it to where it needs to be. I mean, we just don't have no issues that way, and we don't have any comebacks. And when I build them, I'm taking them in and out, build them and putting them back in. So I got full control of everything that's going on with that vehicle.
That's why we try to show everybody, you know, the tricks as we're tearing it down and explaining things. I mean, that's a lot of stuff that we're still showing everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and, you know, when we tear these down in the videos, after I get these parts cleaned up, you would not believe how much I throw away that I miss in the videos. The pile goes from a little pile to a massive pile, because once I get them cleaned up and I start inspecting, then here we go. We find a lot of stuff wrong with these units.
Yeah.
A lot. So
it's tedious.
It is tedious.
And Trent's doing okay, everybody.
Oh, yes, everybody's asking about Trent.
Exactly.
Trent's doing fabulous. We just love that gentleman to death. He's doing fabulous. So
exactly.
Cody's even doing well.
Right. We have to do our own things, and that's what everybody's doing, including us.
Yeah. So we're all one big happy family again. So we're really excited about that. But anyway, we've got two 400 transmissions that we're doing, that we're going to be cutting the bell housings off, putting ultra bells on, going through the transmissions, putting trans brakes, all billet shafts, all that kind of stuff. So that's what my job is the last few days is. I've already got one done, you can see here. Now we've already cut the bell housing off here. If you see here, here's the bell housing that we took off. Right here. Now this bell housing here is not a flush mount. So in other words, we cut them off and we still make them look pretty nice all the way around, you know. But see, this isn't a flush mount. This is a flush mount here. This is another one that we're going to be doing. So basically when I cut this bell, or that bell housing off that unit, it will be about 15 thousandths all the way like this. It'll be a flush mount where you can barely tell that it's been cut off, because this will go up so close to this ledge right here. Yeah. But you can see this one here, there's no way to leave that coming up to here. It just wouldn't look right.
This is rounded, where this is flat.
Now this is going on our grandbabies here. This is going in on a nitrous big block something or another. But trans brake connection here, since it's internal brake, we do not have a solenoid over here on the side. Same way with this one. If you look here, we have a transmission specialties. Get all this stuff here off. Turn it around. We have transmission specialties. They're billet valve body, quick release, internal solenoid. Solenoid's inside, not where the modulator valve goes. Okay. Plus we have our intermediate shaft, which is a 300M material. And then we have our billet input shaft, and we have our billet forward drum that will be pressing this shaft in here. Now what they do is they actually, the spline count on this end right here is the same spline count on here. So on the factory drum, and what they do is they oversize it, go with more splines, and when they do a stock drum, they pull the inside here and make it, machine it out, pull the splines through and make it bigger. But on this one here, we wanted to go with the billet forward drum, and we'll put, all this will be billet through here. So this is going to be a really nice unit. We got our bushings, we have our 4L80E drum with a sprag there. We have our 4-clutch second gear, and we have all of our Allison clutches that goes in your Allison school buses and stuff like that. So we have our thrust washers, we have our bearing. We're going to roller bearing the back of the case, our high pressure rings, and we have our new pump gears. Instructions, valve body bolts, you know, miscellaneous stuff that comes with the valve body. So it's going to be a really nice unit. Really excited to be able to build this for Peyton. And like I said, they're building her a LS powered, nitrous powered truck.
And she's, I mean, really grandbaby's kind of way off because she's a junior/senior this year.
She's a little smarty. So she's doing 2 years in one. She's taking her senior year in her 11th grade too. So she don't even have to go to school next year. That's
right. She gets out half a day. She gets out at noon, and December will be her last month, and then she goes back in May so she can walk with her class, and she's done.
That's crazy. I was never that smart.
I know.
But her mom is just as smart. I mean, she went 15 years to college to be a CPA and all kinds of stuff.
You're talking about Christina.
Christina, her mama.
I'm
talking about Christina. Right. I'm mixed up there, but
Amber is Peyton's
mother.
Amber's
just as smart. She's actually the secretary for the district attorney's office, so she's kind of up there too.
Yeah, no doubt. Exactly.
My sister's the deputy sheriff, so we're just kind of all over the place.
Christina is, she pretty much could be a CPA. All she's got to do is go down and do her license. She's, and her daughter is, their daughter is numbers, and she's in honors classes. She's in 7th grade.
Yeah.
But she's doing 8th grade classes.
Isn't that crazy?
Kind of like Peyton.
Gonna finish early, huh, too?
Right, exactly. It's hard on them, but
it is.
They stick with it. Okay, work now. Okay.
So we're gonna be cutting this bell housing off this unit here. You notice we have 8 bolts. We would never use a 7-bolt or a 6-bolt case. We would always find an 8-bolt case, and that way we can put all the bolts holding this bell housing on. When we took this one apart, I already built the tranny several years back. The guy never used it. Luckily, when we pulled the pump out, it had 8 bolts behind it, so I just had to disassemble the tranny, cut the bell housing off, assemble it all back, and put it back together. But a nitrous-powered big block, that's going
Is this for the little yellow bug?
No, this is another one.
Okay. Yeah, that little yellow bug is pretty cool. His seat's like in the center and all the way in the back seat.
Yeah, it's a little VW with a small block Chevy in it, so you can imagine that motor being up under that front hood. I mean, it's a beautiful car, though. The gentleman did it really nice. Cool. Anyway, we have our yoke here, which we're not going to be using this bolt-on yoke. You can see here where the seal on the output shaft seals the yoke and splines from any oil coming out of the bolt. Get the tail housing off real quick. Now we'll be using the output shaft on this. It's so massive, there's no sense in upgrading it. The little truck will probably make 1,200 horsepower or so.
Did you ever say anything about a converter? What style is it?
What converter they're using?
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to be using a Circle D.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Circle
okay.
D. They're in with Circle D, so Amber's husband, Brennan, he runs a Circle D converter, and all them guys do.
Sure.
So. But you can see your O-ring right here that seals your drive shaft yoke right here. Now we build it back. We're not gonna put the O-ring back on it because they're going to be using a different yoke that's going to be sealed at the end cap. Going to have a seal right here, so you won't have to use this anymore. We'll be using this tail housing, new bushing, clean it up. Man, that's been in there a while, hasn't it? Dirty, dirty. We will not be using a modulator. Be trashing it. Modulator O-ring and seal. Now we will be using the non-modulator valve. I already stole it. So anyway, the factory modulator valve, you just put it in there, put the plug in there, bolt this back down. No modifications or anything done to the modulator valve. It's just not in there. I forgot I swiped some stuff off this unit. Kind of like the pump. The pump's missing too.
I didn't even notice that.
But if you look, you count the bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Am I missing one? I'll make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're gonna have to get another case because right here there should be another bolt right there. I don't remember. I don't know why I didn't see that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So we're gonna tear this down anyway because I need the parts out of it. So we'll go ahead and get this case gutted. But I got multiple 8-bolt cases that's out there that's already been gutted. But I just basically, since they're gutted, I didn't have all the internal pieces, so I wanted all the internal pieces out of this. So when I assemble my case, I can have it. Well, that's terrible. I don't know what I was thinking there, or what I was looking at. Doesn't look like the pan has been off in a while. But we want at least get all the internals out of here. Like I said, I know I got gutted 8-bolt cases out there. Of course, we already have a deep pan over there for the tranny. We don't have to hunt one of them down. We've already got a screen filter. If you notice, this filter here has got a cloth in it, which our filter is a screen style. It's cleanable and it flows a lot more fluid than that. That there will actually, that filter's better, but it won't handle the volume of fluid that needs to go through that filter to support this tranny. Okay, and of course we have our deep pickup tube, which has got one O-ring right here. We always put 2 since it's above fluid level. We don't want it sucking any air right there. We have our passing gear solenoid here, which all this stuff right here is going to disappear because our trans brake wire is going to be hooking here with a new connector, and you'll hook your trans brake wire right here to your passing gear wire. All these pieces here, the valve body, stuff like that, we'll just put up, keep the plate with the valve body. That way, if we need a valve body for another 400 or anything like that, we'll have it. Plus you have a plastic accumulator here. If it's plastic, you always want to do away with it. Put aluminum on there. This is your passing gear solenoid. Now they do make 2 versions of this. They make this version and then a canister style. They will interchange from unit to unit. Now your overhaul kit's going to come with 2 gaskets of one kind and 1 gasket of one kind. So you want the gaskets that are 2 of identical, you need to match them up and make sure that they're identical to what you're using. Okay. This is your center support bolt. It's hollow. And you got your engine brake band servo here that applies your band. You have all your check balls. The most critical check ball is this one in this trough right here. This keeps your forward and reverse from binding right here, this little check ball in this trough.
So any type of, even building it back for like a race application, you're going to keep all your check balls in where it's supposed to be?
It depends on if you buy an aftermarket valve body. A lot of the aftermarkets, they don't want any check balls except maybe one here. But most of the time I leave them in, but then I modify the plate to let more fluid go by the check ball. Because like I said, each check ball has got an orifice.
Sure.
From here to here, see?
Right.
So if you leave this is your second, I think that might be your third, I don't remember. But you know, if we leave the check ball here, we're going to enlarge that hole there.
Right.
So if you look at your shift kits, they explain all that stuff to you.
Well, since you had that plate,
Right.
I didn't know, you know.
No, that valve body will have no check balls in the case at all. There won't be nothing here. Now that valve body does not have gaskets or anything, so you want to come in here and flat file this and make sure this is really flush and smooth here. That way when you bolt your billet valve body back on, you don't have to worry about it. Now when you do put your tranny together, you'll be leaving these two seals off here, but you'll be using the piston. Now this could have come with another spring right there, but it did not. But it did come with a pressure regulator spring for the pump. And that's something you want to really pay attention to because high pressure will kill a nice tranny. So we have our engine brake pan here. Now, since we're running a trans brake, this will be left out. Your this will be left out. That applies your band. So all this will be left out. And you notice how they left this whole snap ring from here to here just hanging over in this big old cavity. See that? Mm-hmm. They'll break off right there. You do not want that. Now this is going to be just a 3 clutch with a wave. You can see here's the wave plate here. And these are all flat steels here, and then you got your top hat. Now we'll be going back with 4 clutches here without the wave or with the wave. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. Like I said, that wave right there and you leave it out. This sprag right here, now this is going to be a roller. Anytime you hear it squeak, that means it has a rollers in there, and that's going to be called a roller sprag or roller clutch. A sprag will not squeak, it'll just spin freely. So this will be upgraded here. We won't be using this drum at all. We'll be using the 4L80E drum with the big sprag on it. Now we do have a beveled snap ring here. This is flat on this side, bevel out. But don't put your opening right there like that. Turn it like that. Both of them. A lot better. It's our center support. We have a thrust washer down in there, which we'll be changing all the washers to brass. And you have your sealing rings here. Now your trans brake will have us leaving that sealing ring off. That way we do a dual clutch feed in 3rd gear. That way we use the whole piston. And of course we have a snap ring right here that sets down in the case that your support sets on. Now just remember, anytime you're changing things, they make a thicker support right here and you leave the snap ring out. Thin support takes a snap ring, thick support does not take a snap ring. They'll fit either direction, you just make sure you put them in right. So I keep my parts for every customer, that way I can show them when they pick their vehicles up what we installed in their vehicles, so that's why that stuff is sitting there. Of course here is a, let me see if I got one sitting over. I think I moved it, or what did I do with it? Yeah, here it is. If you look at this, this is what we call a roller clutch here. This still lets it spin one way and lock the other. You can see how that fell out. The springs are getting weak. And this is what we call a sprag assembly, which does the same thing, but this is twice as strong. Now this sprag here goes in here. Now it does take a special drum to put this in there because this drum has this in there right now. That's why you hear it squeaking. These do not squeak. These will just be a smooth when you turn it. Of course, you have a thrust bearing here that sets under here. Of course, you have your forward or your front planet here. Your reverse band goes around it. You have this oil ring right here. A lot of people leave them out. I try to keep them in. That way it captures and keeps a lot of the oil still in the planetary and keeps it locked in tight. Keeps it all full in here. And then it has to drain out this little part here. If you leave it out, I mean, it pretty much just empties it quickly. It just runs out everywhere, okay? This captures it and keeps it full. So I always like to leave them in there. Now you do see them a lot of times chipped and broke and stuff like that, so you run a replacement if they're just beat up. But this one here is in really nice shape. Probably one of the best ones I've seen in a long time. Of course, you have your reverse band. You know, pretty dark, pretty used. A lot of times here you'll see wear on the tips where the band has been touching the drum right here. So these are really close to being touching. You have your lower sun gear. This will go in any direction. It doesn't have to go a certain way. If you notice, you have a hole that feeds it, but down in here has a groove all the way around, so it still forces it to come out that hole. Now you can take and line it up where you see hole to hole, but if you put it in here away from the hole, it's still going to find its way because of the circle around here, and there's a circle in here. And then, like I said, this bearing here sets on there like that. All right. Now you can see here we have a thrush washer here that goes back here in the back of the case against this race here. Now we're burying this. And what I normally do to start out, I'll take and mic this right here and get what my feel is, and then I'll take and go get me a 30,000th shim, and I'll mic this bearing in that shim. And I get them, I like to get this about 5 thousandths over what this is right here, and 90% of the time it's dead on. Okay, so mic this, see what that is, go find you another shim, mic it, make it about 5 thousandths over and put it together, check your clearance, and then 90% of the time it's good to go. But what's also good about it is this washer here can be used again in the tranny because you're going to throw this 4-tab plastic one away. This normally would set down in here like this. Like that. And then of course this drum right here would set on it and it would run right here. Okay, but since we're not going to be using plastic in this tranny, we're going to get it all out. This 4-tab washer will set right down in there. Look at that. Works perfect. There you go. So you can use that washer over if it looks good, which this one looks really nice. Now also too on these, you want to look at this really close, guys. These pins walk. You can see how high they're up. See that? These walk. So what we do, if they've moved forward, and you can, this washer right here will start being shaved. So you want to check them if they've moved forward. You want to tap them back down, and you want to come in here and TIG weld them. All the way, you know, just in like 3 or 4 spots. You don't have to bust it, you know, just weld it all up. Just 3 or 4 spots with a TIG welder, and then you're good to go. You don't have to worry about that shaving this washer off anymore. But just look at it and you'll see, like I said, these pins are all really high. So we know we're going to have an issue right there. You have a normal snap ring there. So hard to. get off there. Okay, this is the bearing. If you notice, this bearing sticks out the top. So when you put this bushing in, you better countersink it. That way it sets in there. If you leave it flush, you're going to wipe that bearing out right there because it sets up. See the lip? Mm-hmm. Like that. Sets up just like that. So, of course, you have another bearing down in here. This one ain't as critical as anything, except just making sure that it's in good shape. Of course, a lot of these 400s, you can take them apart, and on these bearings, every other bearing's missing. That come from the factory that way. So you always like to hunt down the bearings that's got all the rollers in them. And then, like I said, just make sure there's no pitting where they're running on both races. Same way with this bearing here. This bearing here will come with every other bearing missing. And always hunt down the better bearings that has all the rollers in there. And then just check your races and make sure there's no pitting or anything like that. Ring gears, just check it for any wear, any pitting. And of course your rear planet and your forward or your front planet, you want to check it, same thing. Make sure the pins ain't purple. Make sure, just make sure all your thrust washers are in here. Make sure these gears don't slide up and down and the thrust washer being missing. Okay. You can see the brass washer. That brass washer right there? Mm-hmm. A lot of times them wear out and you can grab that gear and move it up and down. Mm-hmm. So you want to check that, make sure they're not wobbling, anything like that. And unfortunately, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Man, I thought that was an 8-bolt case. I don't know why I was thinking that. But maybe I brought it in just for a pump. Who knows, huh? But we'll go get an 8-bolt case out of there and get it mounted to the bench. And what we do is we'll come over here. We'll bolt this through the tail housing right here through this hole. Through the here, we'll bolt it. And then what I like to do is where I start at, this is round right here. I come in here and I come down and I start cutting along here, right here. And I leave about 1/4 of an inch above these pan bolt holes. Take it all the way to the edge. Take it all the way to the edge. And then I come around, and as I come around and cut it off, I stay about 1/2 inch above these, right here. I'm going to take these off after I get the bell housing off, but I still take it about 1/2 inch above, all the way like this. Get this out of the way, and then I'll set my pump in here, and then I start working down. I use a Milwaukee chop saw blade to cut it off first. Works really good. Spray some PB around it like that. That way it doesn't gum up on the blade or anything like that. And then when I get it cut off, I use this pad right here to form it and shape it all the way around like that. And I mean, I can get it like that. You almost can't tell that it's been separated, huh? It's pretty cool how good I am at doing these bell housings. But you can definitely do it at home. It don't have to be pretty when you do it at home. But when I charge somebody, I like to make it look pretty nice. You know what I mean? I don't want it to look like chopped up junk. So, but anyway, we'll put that case out on the shelf, grab an 8-bolt, get it in here, get the bell housing all cleaned up, and we'll salvage what. Like I said, the forward drum, we're going to be getting rid of that. We'll use some pieces out of it. This is kind of a job to do. I mean, but when you get to mess with these high-dollar, expensive parts and stuff like that all day, it's kind of like Christmas every day, huh, Teresa? It's just not my Christmas.
Not my Christmas.
Not your Christmas either, huh? Okay, everybody, we got our transmission bell housing whacked off of it. This is what it looks like right here. Now, this is the first one. This is the second one for our grandbaby here that we whacked off. Now, this does not have a flush mount. This physically has a flush mount bell housing on it that we installed. Now, I talked about how you can do this at home. I used a Milwaukee chop saw, some PB blaster, and then I used a Milwaukee grinder pad and buffing pad right here. Works really good to clean it up and make it really perfect. But let me show you here what it looks like. Now, this is the one I did a couple days ago. This is what we call not a flush mount. Now, this tranny here is going in behind a big block, nitrous powered. It's got some billet pieces in there, 4L80 drums and clutches. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff. Really nice unit here. Trans specialty billet internal trans brake valve body. So, but you can see here how you can get your fingers right here. So, now if you come over here, now this tranny here is for our grandbaby. You can see here, this is a flush mount. You cut the bell housing off, you clean it up really nice where you can barely tell it's been done. See the difference? Now this unit here is getting all billet shafts, input forward drum, everything you can imagine we're going to be installing in this unit right here. It's going to be going in a nitrous powered LS S10 for our Peyton. So how old is Peyton, Teresa?
She's 16.
16. She's had a junior dragster all over pretty much ever since she was born and walking dang near pretty much. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys you can do this at home. You can make it look really nice. Take your time. I've got about an hour and 20 minutes in this right here, and it looks really good. We still have to build it, of course. Now this case is an 8-bolt case, 8-bolt bell housing, but you can't get the 8-bolt through here. All the stators are drilled for the 8th and 7th bolt, but the pump body itself is not. The 7th bolt is here, so the pump body has been drilled, and the stator body's been drilled. But this pump body has not. So all you got to do is flip it over, drill from the back side all the way through here, and then you can add your 8th bolt. Pretty simple. Well, anyway, there you go. You can do anything at home. Well, guys, we want to thank you for watching. We really appreciate everybody watching, staying tuned, and all that type of stuff. Go check out our merch store. I want to thank Miss Teresa. Go check out 4D Motorsports. Pretty good channel for adults. How's that sound? Let's do it that way.
Open-minded adults.
Open-minded a little bit, yeah. I mean, when they're out the track, they're having fun. They're kids.
They're kids.
They're kids.
They're young.
Having fun.
That's right. So you know, I mean, it's up to each and every person's discretion what you watch, and you know, so they're a younger version. Just remember that.
Yeah, having fun, drag racing, and family. That they're one big family.
Exactly. I'm sure we've done things too, but you know,
oh, definitely.
When we were doing
all
it,
of our
they
mouths
didn't have
ain't clean,
videos.
let me tell you.
Exactly.
For sure. But anyway, definitely want to thank you for watching again. Go check out our merch store. Thanks, Miss Teresa. Annie hanging out. Till next time. Have a great day.